hear you anymore.
You can't? I hope you can.
Really?
I'm here.
I hear you.
Okay, so
I can't hear everybody no more. Maybe it's me.
I put February 9th on my note sheet here.
Oh, dear.
Maybe it's May 9th, 2000.
Maybe, but then again, you're not even on the internet, Bob, so.
That's right. On Mars, it's February 9th. So,
I used to live in Mars. I lived in Mars, PA,
that's
so.
right. I remember that. Mars near Harmony, that's right.
Yep.
Well, who's calmest here to calm my I-45 traffic self down?
I am super calm because I've been in meditation most of the day.
Good. Bring us in, girl.
Wow.
Please.
Nice.
Yeah. So, it's already 1:15, so I'll keep this pretty quick.
Okay.
So everyone, let's just close our eyes and take a nice deep in-breath and out-breath. And we are no longer sitting in cars and at tables and desks. We are sitting cross-legged on the cool late spring grass that's been freshly mowed. And that smell of the fresh grass is permeating our senses. And we're sitting cross-legged in a circle. But as we look at each other, we are no longer the adult individuals that we are. We are each showing up as children. We are showing up as our 7-year-old selves. But these 7-year-old selves holds all the wisdom that we've gained this entire lifetime. So I look across the circle and I can see Bob, and he's just grinning from ear to ear, and he has a little white t-shirt on and khaki shorts and sneakers and just happily laughing just to be here. Sheila's next to him, and she's in a flowered little sundress and hair and pigtails, and she's every one of us just has massive smiles on our faces. Pamela is almost falling backwards. She's giggling so much that she's looking up at the sky and just full of childlike energy. And Darlis is just really watching Pamela and really taking her in, really enjoying the happiness that's coming through her. And Jennifer is sitting, she's got little jean shorts on, and she's kind of like the tomboy of the group, and she's just also grinning ear to ear. And I'm to the left of her, and I'm sorry, to the side of her, and then on the other side of me is Bob, and that completes a circle. And we're just all in a childlike wonder, knowing that as we come together in just a few weeks, we can actually say days at this point in this gathering, that is one of the things that we will bring as a group of weavers, will be a childlike innocence and wonder and open-heartedness of those young children, that everyone will feel so welcomed and so ready to play, so ready to dive into these aspects of the heart, and we will show up in our entirety. So just happy to be with each of you here today in this playful, joyful place. So we can just take another breath in and out. And we can return to our adulthood and work on all of these things we need to work through.
I don't want to come back.
I know.
I want to keep playing.
Stay there.
I might not. I just might sit here, braiding some flowers or something. Who knows?
I could smell the cut grass. It's nice.
Mm,
I
lovely.
know. That's such an awesome smell.
Mhm, Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh dear.
I just want to say thank you so much to Sheila for doing this, because I could tell this was a lot of work putting this schedule together. It looks great.
Yes, I'm doing my part.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things I put in the email that I sent you guys to explain it. Does somebody have that in front of them?
I can get it quick. Maybe.
Got it.
Yeah.
Draft program, attached Excel spreadsheet using most of the processes we discussed with interactive meditative. Boom. And then what else? Oops.
You'll need to flush out the evenings, opening and closing,
Right.
and course adjust for flow. Is that what you meant, Sheila?
Yeah. Colors and descriptions.
Is Sheila talking?
Very vaguely in the background.
Yeah, Sheila, we can't hear you, honey.
Oh, I'm having a sound problem.
There,
Okay, now
that's better.
you can-
That's better.
We could hear the last sentence.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
You can?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, my sound's being weird. Not a whole lot to explain except that you can see there's a variety of colors on each page. That was
Right.
the goal, was to kind of mix it up. There will be a couple of things that will interrupt the whole schedule to shift the energy, one of which is the things Noelle's doing when she sets up the laughter yoga on the first day. Then we can, periodically have laughter yoga be a beginning or an end of something, kind of just feel our way through it maybe during the event. So it's like, oh, now would be a good time to have a laughter yoga, and she can just jump up and teach one of the exercises. What else? Oh, and then of course each chamber is putting together a gift. I know my chamber wants to do their presentation on the first night at the fire pit.
Oh, nice.
So we know when we want to do ours, but each chamber is going to have to figure out when would be appropriate for theirs.
So mine is looking like we're going to have a table set up. So we're going to have more of an activity. So we won't be taking any time other than to get up and explain what it is. But ours will be kind of set up somewhere that people can get to. So
Will people come at their own leisure?
Yes. Like people can go there during their free time, or if they're done with dinner early or whatever. It's going to be kind of just like a little respite area. So I'll have more details once I know for sure. But so we won't actually be doing like a presentation.
And we have ours also decided. And we really don't need a special time either. We are going to be, and I forget the name that we gave ourselves, but we're the Huggers. And we're going to come up with a catchy little name, and we're going to come up with badges. And that our goal is to give as many hugs during the week as possible.
Okay, cool.
And
And I can say what ours is.
Yeah, heartfelt huggers.
I like it.
wonderful, wonderful.
And ours is going to be an art table that there's going to be coloring, and you can either draw your own little piece or just kind of like that meditative process of coloring. And then the only thing that we still need to talk through is what can we do with those? Like if they're small little pieces, and like Kathy Mason actually has coloring sheets from a client, so they'll be heart-based. And so we're thinking, okay, what can we do with all those little pieces? So, we'll have to think through that. But so we're just going to have a table with colored pencils, seats around it, that type of thing.
Great.
While you were talking about that, Leanne, with Kathy, did you say anything about the seed paper? Because she has gotten some.
I didn't ask her about that.
Okay, I'll chat with her about it because we were on some other call, or Noelle was, and I popped in, and she said she's had some in her hand in her office that she had procured. So I'll find out what it is, how much it is it colored, so we're going to need to do something with it. Our group just started the conversation with call number 2 last weekend, and so far it seems like we will not need a block of time, but we'll be possibly distributing things a la carte throughout. It was just one of the ideas thrown out. None of them really so far have looked for a block of time, a piece of time. So our call's going to be early because it's going to be this weekend. So we'll see. Have more to report next week. So we should, for me, we've got the program to talk about. We've also got whether we want to send a letter between now and next week. And then anything, I don't know whether we need to talk about decorations yet, but I do want to make a correction on the pictures that I sent to you. I think I sent everybody. The last picture were from last year. So you say they had lanyards, and I said the dots were different color fits that were different color pods. That was incorrect. Noelle reminded me. The dots were, which was it, Darla? They were the newcomers or the veterans? It's one of the.
Oh, that's right. I remember joking about the dotty ones.
Yeah. So we just labeled them so that I think we labeled some dot the people that did the conversions that did.
Bob, I can't hear you. Is everybody else hearing Bob clearly?
No, it's really.
It's stuttering and folding back, and I'm hearing like every third word, but
Is it
Yeah.
better? If I talk into the microphone, is that any better?
A little bit.
it's got an echo.
Actually, everybody's echoing.
Everybody's echoing. It's some weird chamber.
Yeah.
No better, huh?
That's better right
better.
there.
It is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will hold that. So I was saying that the name badge picture that I sent, Pamela,
Yes.
it was not the different pods in different colors. It didn't make a difference whether there was color. It's just that the dot meant that you had been to the convergence before somebody
Okay.
was not, or vice versa. So we could, on a look, identify. Obviously, we know the newcomers in our own chamber, but we might not know them from the other chambers. Whether we want to do that again this year or not is open season as far as I'm concerned.
So, who is responsible for making the name badges? Am I? Is that why you were directing it to me, or is it?
No, just this that I had shown that in one of the pictures that I sent.
Okay.
So let me find out from Kathy if what she's providing for us would be something that's useful as name badges.
Okay.
Darvis, how did you do name badges last year? I think, do I remember Noelle going over and printing them all out when we were already at the ranch?
Yeah, but we had done a little logo. We did Kathy's logo. No, we had them printed out. I did those at Kathy and Ted's last year. And I think I stuffed them in sleeves even. Yeah, I had the time to do that at Kathy and Ted's house before.
Okay.
So maybe just get a little logo
Mhm.
and then we could type them all in.
Who laid them out? Did Kathy lay them out? Multiple six.
Kathy laid them out.
Okay.
Okay. So I can do that with the logo and give whomever that's going to print them that. I just need to know the size. I mean, maybe Kathy still has that file.
Sure, I'll ask her.
Because I'm happy to tuck in sleeves and do whatever needs to be done to facilitate but the actual creation of them, if it's somebody else has already done that or is handy that way, or isn't it Canada? I don't know.
I'll talk to Kathy soon. We got 900 miles of road ahead of us in the next few days. I'll talk to her and find out what the paper is, if she has a template
Okay.
for them that we then just have to put this year's in, and then we'll take it from
Sure.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
because
good.
it makes sense for me to create the for me to make the printout
Agreed.
ready to print out, because I can just copy and paste off of every page in the yearbook, but I don't have access to a printer. So if I could just send that to somebody and they can print them out.
No problem.
Okay.
We can do that at the ranch.
Okay, cool.
Good. Good. So should we spend time in the program?
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
think we need to make a decision if we're going to send a letter pre-now next week, what you want it to contain, but we can come back to that if you want.
Yeah, because I did have a request from, I forget who it was. It might have been, I think it was Elsie in my group. She asked if we're using her. She just wants to know
Yes.
and how much time we're giving her. So I know all of these people are sitting around waiting to know that.
Mhm.
So I think we should go through that.
Right. So we do need to get back with them. But so I guess what we need to do is at least look at the program and just talk through the flow each day. First this, then this, then this, and see if that works. Or if something doesn't feel right, then we should shift it out.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, there's the screen share. Can you see it on your phone?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Sheila, again for doing this. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful offering.
The only problem with the screen share for me.
Oh, you're most welcome. I just wish I could hear right now. My phone's being wonky.
You can't hear?
I can barely hear.
Turning my volume up.
Okay, so here we are. What day is this? Wednesday, I assume?
No, it's
No, that's
Friday.
Friday.
That's my problem is that when I have this on screen share, I'm not sure how to get to other tabs.
Oh,
This is not good. That's what I
On
was
the
trying-
bottom.
I was trying to read this on the cell phone this morning while I was in line at the plumber supply place, and I wasn't being successful. Does somebody else, I can hand over the screen share to somebody else and maybe it'll.
Well, I have mine open. Let me try mine.
Okay, let me just manage. Oh, good, you got it. Okay. Ah, perfect. Thank you.
Everyone seeing that? Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so Wednesday, is that big enough for everybody?
Nope.
A little
Yeah.
small, but if you can do better. Nice.
there we go. So obviously in the morning we have registration and we'll need to get volunteers for that.
I have some. I have some.
Lunch provided. The welcome ceremony, I listed some things we've talked about, which would include describing why their name is Love So-and-so on the name badge, if we do that. Mentioning the yearbook. The ancestors, we talked about a practice that would be some sort of introduction or calling in the ancestors. So we need to flesh that out if we're going to do that. Also introducing the plant music. And then this might be the time to do the dyad, which could be used both for the heartfelt connection as well as a way to introduce each other. So anyway, any thoughts?
It looks good to me. Like you said, we just need to flush it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do need to flesh it out. And if we do the dyad, I was just thinking about how we might also use the love portal or whatever we want to call, if we're going to use that. People could come through that 2x2. That, that we could do
Yeah.
we could do something in the perma garden outside as far as people pairing up, or
There's
out by the
that.
labyrinth if it's not too hot and too middle of the day, of course. But in the perma garden, there's plenty of shade, and then people could come in 2x2s to introduce each other.
Okay.
Which is different than, which had some variety for all of us that were there last year. Instead of 3 people introducing everybody as they came through, we'd have everybody introducing one other person if we wanted to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to walk us through all of them?
The next thing, that's a meditation by Julie Kroll, and I kind of focused on the people with experience on the first day. Just kind of figured that was important to use people that we know, our known quantities, so to speak, a little history with us, so we
Sure.
In case, like, I don't know if any of the newcomers might go off on a tangent or something. So, Julie's going to do her meditation. And she said she needed at least an hour, but when she described it, it seemed like she needed more than an hour. So I put an hour and a half. And then that would give a half hour for Noelle to give us our introduction to laughter yoga and get us lightened up for dinner. And then the
Great.
campfire. And that's Wednesday.
Great.
Okay.
Perfect.
That flow work for everybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's see. So Thursday, one of the things that was a driving force in this is our decision to join with Shelley and everybody at 9 o'clock for the 15-minute Love Lives Here. That kind of limits our mornings. So what I did for the beginning, if at 9 o'clock, if we're gathering at 8:30, and then we're going to jump on their call at 9 in whatever way that works for us. So we don't have a lot of time for getting into anything deep. So I just put the same thing in each morning called singing bowls, centering, and heart. I figured the singing bowls is one of the last person we talked to, right? Barton, Laura Barton,
Mhm.
is
Yes.
that her name?
Yeah.
And yeah, so she offered the program that she does for money, and I don't think she understood that we're not doing any financial things except for that one night.
Right.
So I didn't actually put that into the program, although we could squeeze it in if we want to later. Because it also sounded familiar with some of the other things that are meditative. So anyway, the 3 items at the beginning of each day, the singing bowls is her offering on singing bowls. The meditation would be like we start every day. We tend to have a weaver leading a meditation. So I put your names on it.
Okay.
Each day a different person. So like the first day would be Darlis, I think. No, who did I put in there? Bob. And then the heart story would be a 10-minute thing to open the heart.
Okay.
And so like one person talked about her story of the butterfly in December. So that would be one of the days. I put a video there. There's a link in the activity page. The video I put in was about and it could be anything. The Special Olympics where one kid fell and everybody came back and they all linked arms and did the race together.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's a real heartwarming, heart-opening little story. And also I thought, Pamela, that you could read one of your poems.
Sure.
That would be a really great way to do some heart opening. Everything you say opens my heart.
Oh,
So it'd be up to you which one you want to do.
no. Yeah.
So anyway, I kind of did that every morning. I don't know if that works, but that was just kind of how I structured it for the mornings.
Okay.
So that would be until we start our outreach and inreach to Love Lives Here.
Mhm.
And I hope what that means is the radio program with Shelley.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
That was
we had talked about that being an opportunity that we can go back out to the folks from prior events. Well, actually, I think we talked about just going out to the whole Facebook page, including those people, and that they can.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if we're just going to do that one day or all the days. What did you guys think?
Easy.
I haven't watched one yet, so I don't know how they work.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, I've seen a couple passing through the room. I'll ask Noelle about them tonight because I think there's been some variety. It's
Mhm.
Well, first off, they have there's 4 10-day blocks, and the first 10-day block, which they're just finishing up tomorrow, is about self. The second is about others or community. I think the third is about connection to all that is, or something like that. Pamela, you're doing something.
Yeah, it's actually very similar to our themes,
Yeah.
the way we structured it.
Structure
Yeah.
the calls.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So we will be in the sort of outreach to the cosmos. Would be in the third. Yeah, would be in the third block.
Yeah.
Days, the start of the third block. So I would suggest that we, one of us or two of us, reach out to Shelley and have a conversation about sort of mechanically how we do this, but also that we would like to add this connection for others to be a part of the convergence during that 15 minutes, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how we might orchestrate that to be that.
Yeah. And we might even want to bring something into the 15 minutes from the day before. One of the exercises we did, or I don't quite know if that would work, but.
Right. I think that our conversation with Shelley should include maybe one or more days during those 5 days, but going to be 4 mornings.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Sunday.
Yeah.
That the Convergence family at the ranch would be responsible for that block of time. I mean, Shelley
Yeah.
would be there.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think that would be a way of reaching the convergence out to everybody that's participating in Love Lives Here, or the
Yeah.
40 days of reconnection, rather.
Okay. So that's an everyday thing. And then, so on this morning I have the sun salutation that one person offered. The numbers next to them actually line up with the person's description on the activity page,
Okay.
Oh, thanks.
or the detailed presenters page. So if you need to figure out which one it is.
Okay.
Writing from the Sacred Heart is,
Dina
I
DeLuco?
can't remember who it was.
Dina.
Dina DeLuco.
Pardon?
Tina.
Dina DeLuco.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've got her on the writing. Yeah, she said it was a short one, and it sounded really good. So, break, and then Resonant Heart by Shelley Darling is a meditation. Lunch, the Heart Threads presentation by Karen and Raphael. And then the meta process I put in there for Leanne to just talk about her meta process.
Actually, that if you could just change it to the meta painting, because that's when I'll explain what the painting is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all that I need for that. And thank you. That's perfect timing, because then I have some time just to kind of like get started on it when, people can help me contribute if not. So that's perfect placement. Thank you.
Oh, great. I'm glad
You
that
think
works
that's
out.
good there rather than on the first day, Leanne?
I think so, just because it gives me, I'll have that little time that from 4:30 to 6 before dinner. So like the painting has layers and layers and layers. So at least there'll be one layer, and then I'll be working on it Friday and Saturday. So that'll give me plenty of time. It lets me just kind of enjoy the first night and
Yeah.
so yeah, it's good.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Excellent.
And I guess you guys know OYOT, OYOT on your own time. These are the integration periods. There's one every day
Good.
to let everybody just go off and do whatever they want to do.
Oyot.
OYOT on your own time. We can call it something else. But I did try to line them up with breaks or meals so they actually can stretch longer depending on how people want to use their time.
Great. Wonderful.
Okay.
And then dinner, and then the Dome program, which I have no idea what we're going to do in the Dome.
You put
Well-
you put BMH down there. Is Darlis? Have you had communication with BMH, my new neighbor?
No.
Yeah.
I sent a separate email asking for the Survey Monkey, and she was not on our call, so she declined. I think she was prepping for her class, so
What's your next call?
not till like the 23rd, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, we will
Wow.
certainly be in conversation with her by, early to mid next week, and probably we'll see Sherwood, and so I will put in a word about the Survey Monkey and processes.
Yeah, I see Sherwood on every communication, so.
Yeah, because given that the program in the Dome is, second day that we're there, I mean, I start to think in and of itself, it's a whole program to be facilitated and organized work through. So, because I'm thinking when I was there 2 years ago, it was on the Friday night, so I was able to work with other people that were presenting. So we'll have to flesh that out as it goes. Who has offerings, who wants to do something, and the timing of it and the flow of it. But we do have something really exciting to share. If there is, Bob, do you know if there's projector in the space with screen?
Unfortunately, they have a huge screen like the one that we have in the Greenridge room, and that's put up. They don't have a projector and a big screen. So like when we showed American Visionary in December, they just rolled out the big screen. It's this 60 or 75 inch monitor, but you really need to be in the first 5 or 6 rows. Of course, we will be.
We will be.
Yeah, we will be.
Okay. So you did screen American Visionary in there?
Yes.
And it was, what was it on? Just a flat screen TV?
Yep. Flat screen TV on a stand.
Okay. I thought, for some reason, I thought that there might be a projector with a big screen, but that's okay. So Julie,
but let me check. I'll make a note when I talk to her next.
I was going to say, Julie Krull has put together the most beautiful video for Love Lives Here for Good of the Whole to the soundtrack of my song Emerging, and I saw it on Tuesday. It is absolutely exquisite, stunning. So we're actually doing a video launch party on Friday night, which is another piece I can share at the end of our call. But I think that it would just be amazing. She's done such an exquisite job of it. And the song Emerging was inspired by Barbara's work. That's what inspired me to write the lyrics.
Oh.
About our emerging community. So it's about 8 minutes. So that would be something wonderful to share if we can.
Wonderful. And you, as you're talking about that evening, I just realized this may be unleashing we won't be able to contain anything, but Barbara did in the Dome during the Arise Festival, she did like a reading speech presentation thing. And I don't know if any of you saw that because it was all recorded. She did 2 nights ago, and then they put it together. And there was a woman, actually, I think it's the fiance of the organizer of the Arise Festival, that was playing a violin. Standing next to her, so it was like a musical accompaniment of Barbara's conversation. And we might want to talk to her about doing something like that if we can, if it fits the flow, working with you, and if it's the flow, and if it's
and I can
as best as we can get her to stay with the theme, and that it's time contained to not overwhelm anything else that you're doing and that co-creation is organizing for that evening.
That would be amazing. And there'll be crystal bowls and other instruments, but the grand piano's there. I've often accompanied talks and poems and spoken word of I do improvised piano if that's enough. Many things are possible, and I would love to co-create.
Well, if you want me to, when we get settled in, the current aim is to pull in there on Sunday night, but it may be Monday or something. But I can call ahead and find out if I can get audience with her early part of the week, first day or two we're there. Number one, Darlis, I'll talk to her about the chambers and the call there and all of that. But I can also ask her about, reintroduce you, Pamela, and say that you with others are putting things together for that. Where are we? Friday evening? Thursday evening?
Thursday.
Yeah, 7:30 to 9:30. And we'd love to have her present.
And then I haven't verified this yet, but Bob Challenger called me. Him and Heidi wanted me to be on the radio show last Saturday. Now it looks like we're moving it to this coming Saturday. But according to him, and she was trying to get a hold of me, and I was really super busy, so I haven't gotten back to her. But according to Bob, she's coming to CCC.
Oh, great.
Wait, who is she? I didn't catch.
Heidi Little is head of the International Children's Day.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
The month is June.
Yeah.
And she just won an award, a big award for her musical talents, and now it looks like she's been nominated for a Grammy.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
So this is someone that you've been talking about, the one that if she hits it big, should be able to attend. Is that right?
Exactly. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah,
So,
she's a beautiful conscious music.
yep. So
Yeah.
I'll need to get back in touch with her and just see where she's at. And could she please register if that's the plan?
Yeah.
And then she would be, and
She
I
would
guess
be participating that night, I'm sure.
would
Yeah,
definitely be a good one to have participate.
for sure. That would be amazing.
Did Bob say his coming?
He said it would take a miracle, but, you know, he would love to come.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's just hold it in our minds that a miracle is happening for Bob Challenger this week,
Yeah.
right now. So he'll be at CCC with us in body,
That would be amazing.
in his presence.
Mm.
Yeah, what a miracle. It's already happened. Isn't that awesome?
Okay.
Yay.
Friday.
Yay. So yeah, moving on. So the mornings are pretty much the same. This time the singing bowls, that stays the same, but I put Darla's for the centering. And then the story about the butterflies would be the heart story that day. Calling in the Field of the Miraculous, that's Nina Patrick. Her meditation, then break, and then the EDGU. I put an hour. It doesn't take that long to do it, so we may have some filler around that. What that is Renee Rennick's physical movement. It's kind of like doing Qigong in a way. The movements are super gentle and easy to do, but it's standing and it's movement, and it helps to align the spine and move energy up and down the spine. So that's a physical activity. Then going into lunch. Then after lunch, 2 hours of bliss. Isn't that wonderful? That's Ted and those guys. They actually, I put it Green Interactive because they're going to do it several ways, where you do your personal, you do a group, and then you do the whole large group or something.
So there
So
will
that's
be
why
a
it's
small group,
interactive.
a small group breakdown for that time block.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and then Heartful Connection. This is Friday, so this is when we would have the giving and receiving of gifts session for 2 hours before dinner, and then after dinner, the giving receiving continues. Only now, if somebody wants to transact with currency, they can, because it's on your own time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does that work?
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
And so
Great.
when we get around to talk about
Saturday,
a letter, we
same
need to
thing
talk
in the
about that
morning.
time.
What?
I'm sorry. When we get around to talking about that, should be included in a letter, either something this coming week or a later letter. We need to let people know about bringing stuff that they want to be a part of the Heartful Exchange that evening.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because they'll say, I didn't know. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad you thought of that. Great. So, I did put the past life regression in. I didn't remember doing that. It was the last thing I did because I had an opening there. So that's, I think it's DeLuca's,
Dina again.
her
Yeah.
second offering. Yeah. It's, along the meditation route, and then a break, and then on your own time, and then lunch. So that's a huge morning opening.
Okay.
And at some point, if we decide we want a different meditation leading into that, big break in time, then we can talk about that. But that's where I just dropped it in for the moment.
Okay.
Then we come back after lunch, and we do a wholeness is the new wellness. Don't remember who that is, number 16.
That's Susamino.
Susamino.
So there we go. There's
Yeah.
Susaminos. Okay, great. Yeah, so there's actually an opening there. We haven't filled yet. I put it in pink because on this day I haven't got a physical activity going yet. Doesn't have to be, but there you go. We have something to fill in. Break, and then for that late afternoon, I have the Love Gauntlet, which Jane, at that point, we probably should have set it up in some way, but you wanted that to be later on so people would know each other better, and that just sounds beautiful anyway. And then Awakening the Creative Voice
Are you-
after that.
Sorry, back to the Love Gauntlet. Is that me? Is that my name?
Well, you suggested it, I think. I'm not sure. It's the one, but you know what it is, and you've mentioned it a
Yes.
few times.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
just, if it's with everybody, I'm just thinking half an hour, it wouldn't be enough time, but
Oh, okay.
depending
Well,
on
we
how
can move
do
the break up a little bit.
we could make it, we could break it up so that it's not everybody in one Love Gauntlet. We could do, several, and that way, yeah, we could probably do it in half an hour. It's a nice thing to do on the last day, but if we have other closing activities, then that's fine too.
Oh, well, no, we can consider moving that to Sunday. I'm not sure if I filled up Sunday yet.
Okay, because it is a nice thing
We'll
to
have
do.
to look.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay, yeah, it would be part of there would be a nice thing to do. Let's see. Awakening Creative Voice, that's Elsie's thing right there. It involves writing, and the way she described it, we'll have some interaction.
Okay.
And then dinner and then Comedy Cafe. Flesh that out a lot more.
Yeah, am I supposed to be asking my chamber if they have a talent or a comedy? I've not done that.
I don't know that it needs to be chamber level. I think this is an invitation that we send to everybody. And when I didn't know about it before I arrived, when we did something similar a couple of years ago. It might have been brought up during the week, like be thinking about something you could do that night.
Yeah, I didn't mean my chamber as a group. I just meant, should I tell my chamber that there's going to be a musical talent comedy?
You mean because you think your group is doing something like that, is leading something like that?
No, not as my group coming and doing it, but just to let them know if there's anybody in my group that
Right.
Has a comedy routine or a talent, just so they can be thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
Or should we
Yeah.
do that, or should we just wait until?
But I do think that the year we did that Sheila's talking about, it was impromptu.
Yeah, it pretty much was. Yeah, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on people.
Okay, because I was
It
going to
just
say,
comes from the heart, it just comes from the last moment.
okay, and I was going to say, how do we differentiate between if people have musical offerings on the Thursday night, like between the comedy night? You know what I mean? Is it the comedy night?
I think music on Thursday, but word on Saturday.
Okay, comedy, sharing stories, lighter. Yeah, okay.
And music, that particular year, when we were in England that year with Nina Patrick, we sang Karen, what's her name?
Karen Drucker.
Everywhere we went in England, we were like a flash mob, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
When it happened spontaneous, then the whole group that was in England together got up and sang that song together.
Okay, right. So I think those things, they'll be built during the energy of the time together.
Cool.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah,
They'll-
that's
they'll
when
generate it.
Robert Felix got up and read poetry, didn't he, Darcy?
Yeah.
And then we couldn't get him to sit down.
Yeah.
If it's those kinds of nights, you need the hook, right? It's the
So
gong.
we actually, we
Yeah, I
decorated
just
the
had
place
it
with tables, and to make it a cafe, we had checkerboard tablecloths and
It was fun.
some decorations and stuff with tables on outside of the circle. So something to think about. Yeah.
It was fun.
And
Yeah.
for those breaks from 2:30 to 3 and 3 to 3:30, I can just give you an update on Pamela, the woman that is in the process of
Yes.
actively dying. So I had a long Zoom call with her, and she, I would say, she's still very, very conscious and able to, talk, but she's a lot more scattered than when I met her in the fall. And she's incredibly, incredibly shy, because I was thinking it could be like a live Zoom call.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seemed to be like too much pressure for her to be ready. And then how about if she's not feeling well? And
Yeah.
so I said, okay, why don't we do this? I think I have it scheduled for this Friday. I'm going to do a Zoom call with her. I'm going to record it. And I'm going to splice together and, and it could end up being one of the heart stories if it only ends up being, 15, 20 minutes, or maybe it could really fit in a whole half hour. I just really have one question for her, what is your aspect of love at this stage in your life? Like something really simple like that. So, and then we can view it. I just told her, we'll just do this call, no pressure. Just you and I talking on Zoom. I'll put it together. I'll show it to the Weavers. And if we feel it's something we're going to show, great. And if not, you know, no worries. And I did say to her that if we did do it, I thought it would be nice to even just call her on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Afterwards, and just flood her with love. Just flood her with light.
Wow.
So that's something that would probably, once I was to trim it down, it would probably only be 30 minutes. So that might take one of those half-hour spots.
And Leanne, I've actually just been editing poetry for a book I'm working on, and I have a poem that weaves grief and love and letting go. So I think that would be, it's a short poem, maybe to include that as part of the piece. We do it,
If you want to send that to me, because maybe, you know, as I'm editing the film, maybe I'll put that in there. You know.
Okay, sure.
But first, let me just capture it on Friday, because she might be really scared and it might not work at all. Yeah, that sounds lovely. I think that it would just be, you know, because then when you know, I said to her that, you know, you're going to be, this interaction, even though it's not going to be live, is with a room full of light workers. And so, you know, we would.
I love that idea, and of flooding her with the light and the love, and that energy is so beautiful. Yeah.
So that could be one of those spots.
Okay.
You know, I'm really feeling it, so that's beautiful. I hope that we can do that.
Yeah, me too. So send me some energy Friday around, I think it's 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. my time, Eastern time, because I really want to capture it. So, okay.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Well, good for you for doing that, Leanne. Yeah, very important.
Very special.
Yeah, so we made it through Saturday.
Okay, so Sunday.
Sunday.
So, excuse me, just to go back one second. So the way that's starting to shake out for the final night, we'll probably want to do some illegal dessert downstairs.
Again, yay!
That sounds good.
We haven't been thrown in the slammer yet, so let's keep doing it.
Yeah, okay, that sounds like fun.
Why is dessert illegal at Sunrise? Is that the?
Never serve
no.
dessert there.
Well, yeah, we have to pester them about dessert. Thank you for reminding me of that, Darla. I need to write a note for the ranch.
I seem to recall that it was all very healthy, you know, apple slices and yeah.
Listen, I'm a vegan chef. You know, there are incredible raw vegan desserts that are incredible. So it's like, come on, guys.
Cacao bliss balls. We make them. Yeah, of course.
I'll ask them about that. How often?
Thank you.
Yep.
So we've always gone out and gotten really bad sugar stuff.
They might be healthy. Right. That's your story, and you're sticking to it.
Okay, Sunday.
Yeah, so Sunday is much the same way. It starts the day with the centering and the heart story. Leanne, I put you down for the centering on that one. And then Love Lives Here. And then alignment, being in grace, was a second offering by Semino. We could swap that out with the one we wanted to move to the end just a little bit ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Goblet.
Yeah, the love gauntlet. We can just flop that, just flip them out, right?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah, okay. And do the alignment and grace on the Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
and then the closing ceremony. Yeah. So closing ceremony, I know each of you have different ideas and things that we probably haven't talked about, but I only knew mine, which was the Faces of God, the Face of God song being sung in a little groups of 4, and maybe a training out with your also song, Pamela, that Love Is All There Is. So people sit in groups of 4. One person sits in the middle, and the other 3 surround them, and the 3 sing to the 1, and the 1 just receives.
Beautiful.
nice.
Yeah.
That's
And then you can just alternate, one song would be The Face of God, one would be All There Is, and just do that twice and you get through all 4 people.
So I like that. I love that idea. Would we also, but are we also talking about having the, what'd you call it? The Love Gauntlet or something or other brought forward to be a part of closing?
Well, Sheila was
We
talking
could.
in the 9:30 slot, but I feel like it is part of the closing. Don't
Okay.
you? Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it there.
Yeah, the only thing that I'll need this last day is
Oh,
to
yeah.
talk about the piece of artwork and for
Right.
everybody to choose it. So I don't know how much time that's going to take. I don't know if I already have it dismantled or how I'm going to do that, because it gets taped on the back. It's really secure, so it's not like people can just go up and go, I want this one. So
Yeah.
So could you do the 9:30 to 10 slot then, Leanne, with the painting and the description of that? Like, does that feel right?
It's only a half an hour.
Oh, you need more than that.
well, it would be everybody picking. It's the end, so they're picking out their piece. It probably would take a half an hour for everybody to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I mean, I'm also the 8:30 to 9, so I do it there. I don't want it to be too much. Leanne, on the last day.
I mean, that does seem like a closing ceremony thing.
It does.
Also,
Oh,
both of those do the gauntlet and the
Oh, right.
yeah.
Because I think that like maybe doing the picking the artwork is. I know as soon as like it's done, everybody just wants to interact with each other and hug each other and see each other. So I don't know when the best time would be to go and pick that
Okay.
your piece of artwork. Maybe because then like you have your artwork and it's lunchtime. Maybe
Yeah.
after lunch. Maybe I just explain to everybody, go
There
have
is no
lunch,
after lunch.
and then come back, and then I'll have it all dismantled and people can just take it back to their rooms. Or so I just need 15 minutes to explain it during that closing part.
So
Well, I don't think we can ask people to come back after lunch. It's kind of over at lunch.
we're
Right?
we're breaking down, but
yeah.
Yeah, okay, then maybe should I
what's coming up for me is that we don't need to do the second part of Su Caminos. Let's give ourselves a little bit more wiggle room in this day, okay?
Yeah. Well, we've already opened up that space by moving that to the previous day
Yeah.
and moving the Love
Yep.
Gauntlet into the closing. So that space is still open.
Okay, good. So I think we
Yeah.
should leave
Good.
ourselves some wiggle room. We don't know what we're looking at time-wise yet.
right? Okay, yeah, for right now, why don't we put in that's the time we're breaking down the photo.
Okay.
And the other
Sounds
thing that comes up for me for the last day is we really want to be, I feel, focused on how are we taking all this heartfelt love out into the bigger picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mindful
Yeah.
that we're doing processes such that, okay, the focus is now we've come together, we've had this wonderful weekend, and how are we taking that out to our communities?
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
completely,
I
Darla. Because
agree,
we need to
yeah.
have some
Yeah.
time with that.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Yeah.
if we go all the way around the circle, that's multiple hours for some people to stand up and make some declaration for everyone to support them or
Yes.
whatever. But if we do that in a group of four in a group and do something like that, and maybe that's a part of what you're talking about, Sheila, that people can make declarations. They would only be making them to 3 other people. And then we bring everybody back into the circle again for some other element of closing. But it gives a chance, I agree with you, Darla, of being able to make some declaration or carry it out. And if we're still planning on having a 4th call X number of weeks later with our chamber, there seems to me to need to be first off, an understanding literally that we're going to be doing that, but some kind of a bridge from the closing of our full circle of time together and you all will be reconvening in your chambers,
Yes, yes.
for whatever, in whatever way or whatever that might be. So it's a bridge that carries on into time away from the weekend.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that some more.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and I'm wondering, this is just a thought as we're weaving the timing and the order. Are we doing, what would happen if we skipped the Love Lives Here on the last day? Is that essential that we do it?
I was thinking the same thing, Pam.
Good point.
So what if, and I'm thinking that if we began with a centering, because we've had singing bowls and every day,
Mhm.
what if we began with a short centering with the singing bowls and then went into the singing to each other first off and began in those
Oh.
the face of God, first thing,
Oh.
our last day together, and have it just be fully Sunday morning. Like this is our
This is it.
vocational church here.
Yeah.
And begin with that.
It's our communing.
Does
Yes.
that sound good?
Yeah.
Feels
It does.
good. Yeah, it does feel good.
I like that. And in the past, there's been some complaints that we haven't had the whole group enough time to really share with the whole group.
So, yeah.
So if we left that, if we did that, the God circles earlier on, and then maybe left some room for that to occur.
Mhm.
And I want to like sit with the schedule a little bit and see if there's like time frames that we are sharing after things happen. Sometimes we do these big processes and then there's no time to share in the circle. And we're
Right.
sitting in these circles for a reason.
Yes.
Well, I'm hoping that most of these processes are leaving time for the sharing included in the time. I'm kind of expecting that, and maybe we need to reiterate that with people.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to sit with
Yeah.
this a little bit and look at that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that has been an all-time favorite. We're in a safe space.
Mhm.
Some people don't have home communities like some of us do. And this
Yeah.
is a community, and we need to make sure they're having time to express themselves and just to be sometimes sitting in silence. And
Yes.
For sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yep. Yep. Thank you, Darlis.
Yeah, I agree. And so I'll go back to, if we want to go back to Saturday later in the afternoon, I don't know if there was a possibility there. We wanted to do the Love Gauntlet.
Yeah, we could move this break up and give you more time.
We could do it Saturday afternoon. I mean, we will have been together enough days at that point that there's a beautiful heart connection. It is a beautiful thing to do for our closing, but I think it's closing 1.0, and then the actual Sunday morning is the full 2.0 of coming together, and we're whispering to each other as angels on Saturday afternoon, and then coming together as the community to then take those angel whispers out as we're seating and going back to our home communities, as you say, and coming together into that great circle. I think that feels right.
Well, and the good thing with this is we're talking about all stuff that's us. It's not any of these other, participants.
Yes.
So,
And it's all still flexible and
right, we can work on that between now and then. But at least we can let all these other participants know.
yeah.
what's using you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, other than I'll change Sue Semino back to Saturday for her 1 hour thing.
Okay.
Okay, so when you say we can let people know, there's I was planning to call everybody, but I don't have to. We can split it up.
Hey, if you got time,
yeah, if you've got time, because
thank
I've
you.
Okay. Well, I was planning to. I could spend the next, call several people each day over the next few days and say, here's what we're looking at for the schedule. Be open-minded, but, I don't want to send it into writing. I just want to tell them what their piece is.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
That's
And-
where we're at with it right now, and just be flexible.
Yeah. How much
Just
time?
get more information about what they need. I'm also going to ask each and every one of them to send me a timeline for their process. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes there, Q&A at the end, whatever. So I think it makes them think it through a little bit.
Right.
Sometimes people don't think it through enough, and then they try to pack all the important stuff in 5 minutes at the end.
My experience is everybody thinks they can do it in a short amount of time, and it's not usually the case,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
including myself.
Pacing. Oh, yes. The gold of the speaker focus alignment. Yeah.
So
That's a good idea, Sheila.
yeah, and Sheila, would you then also talk to Shelley about
The Love Lives Here
yeah
and how we're going to do that? Yeah, I can.
40 days and recognizing, confirm with her what 10-week block, what 10-day block is going on starting the 30th and how that might fit in.
Yeah.
And our intention that we would like to see this be a way that the CCC community, both at the ranch and those in the larger community, might participate in the 40 days of reconnection more during that time. And
Yeah.
if there's a way for us in the room, if that's,
Bob, you're so eloquent. I think maybe you should call her.
I'll be glad to chat with her.
And yeah, I got a feeling you kind of have all the bullet points
Okay.
very clear. And also just a reminder that we're only going to have it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning, 3 times.
Saturday, correct. Okay. And
Okay.
also concerning the schedule, Sheila, if you would, we don't need to decide now, but so we don't forget to decide, put in there about a class photo. Because 2 years ago when we did the dome, we did everybody was dressed up, we did our class photo and had fun with that at the dome.
Right.
All the other years have always been out by the pond, which is a really easy thing. But so we can decide when typically we do it, on our way to lunch or on our way to a break, if we're coming out of the Greenridge room. But if you just put it in one of those places, unless somebody has a specific suggestion now,
Group photo. Yeah.
don't forget it.
Group photo
Yeah.
at dome night. How about just building it in?
Be nice.
Darlis?
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, let's make sure we at least do it on Saturday at the latest, because Grace is having to leave on Saturday.
Right.
I want to
Okay.
make sure she's included.
Yeah, so if we did it at the dome, we'd have it covered.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be
I think
good.
the dome is good. We're not all tired yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Take it when the bloom is on the rose.
That's good.
Awesome. This is really productive.
Yeah, it
Meeting.
is. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sheila.
what
This
a
is,
lot.
and
Oh,
everything.
yes,
This is
so good.
wonderful. Very good.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, good. Well, I'm really glad that we have that sort of settled. I think that was a big
Big
milestone.
weight off shoulders.
Yeah.
And Bob, I want to thank you too for sending the pictures back to the what you had for your cosmic portal that you had built,
Right.
which I saw.
Yeah.
So whether we can, how that can be painted down. I mean, are you willing, somebody to paint?
Oh yeah. As soon as I get there, I can do the undercoat or sand
Okay.
off the glitter from last year and at least get it, get things ready.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey.
there were such great hieroglyphics, and you guys were a hoot with your
It
little.
It was a trip, wasn't it, Darlis?
You guys went whole hog.
And those were active. We had somebody walk in as we were working on the hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
That's a channeler, and she walked in and said, "Whoa, I can't even be in this room."
Oh wow, amazing!
5 codes.
Yeah, it
Cool,
was
very cool.
it was the
Yeah.
topic of conversation around the ranch. There were a lot of residents that were stopping by. So
Very cool. Well,
Sounds like fun.
I can embed some light language, channel it in, and we can.
There you
put some-
go.
Yeah.
that's my
I'll
idea.
sing it. I'll offer it vibrationally. You can put Leanne. You can paint whatever
Yeah.
simple signs and imagery you get. We'll do it for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Well, so do you all think it's time that we do send a letter out between now and next Wednesday?
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, so which audience? I know we need to reach out to those who have not registered to remind them that it's Early Bird Sunday.
Correct. So we'll do something on the Facebook page. We can go one more time to all the prior registrants in an email. That's easy enough to do. And let them know, that's right, it's this Sunday, isn't it?
Because have there been any more registrations, Bob?
No, none.
None. Oh, so we're still sitting at like 42, 43, something like that? Okay.
I thought we're only at 36.
We might be at 36. Okay, real quick.
Oh, Oh, maybe that's
I
including.
think Bob was looking at the numbers on the side instead of.
I was looking at line numbers, not entry numbers.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So whoops, I got a screen share on right now. Well, one thing we should do is, let me come back over to this. I said I had drafted something that was just off of last year's template, which was the, here's a whole section on packing, be sure to bring water, da, 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 da.
Oh,
But
yeah.
here's this paragraph in yellow, the second paragraph in yellow that is about our Heartful Exchange offering. And so I'd like to send this to, not to take more time here, but send this
Okay.
to you all for wordsmithing about how do we describe, unless someone wants to write the paragraph original, I'm fine with that. How do we describe the Heartful Exchange for whatever night that is, Thursday or something? Friday. And so that people bring stuff if they intend to do
Okay.
that.
If they so desire, yeah.
And then whether it's this mail or another mail, we can send the green plan. We need to send information about local transportation. And the stuff that's in yellow is stuff that I need to confirm. And then also in the years past, we've taken a picture at registration. Darlis,
that's
you've oftentimes been involved in that. Do you think that's still important this year? We really didn't use them the
Yeah,
last couple of
I
years.
think, it was kind of a fun thing, but then to make sure everybody got included and kind of dicey. Well, especially, I guess, last year when there were so many people.
Right. Well, I mean, we had one person dedicated to doing that. Barb volunteered to make sure she was
Right.
in the spreadsheet to make sure
Right.
she didn't miss anyone. But it oftentimes is a matter of having to track people down for the next 3 days.
Yeah, she did. We have to make an announcement. This is who didn't get it done. And if we're not really using them, I don't know what the purpose is. So I think
The use would be for the yearbook for anybody who never sends their picture in.
Well, my
Yeah.
philosophy on that is when
Yeah.
Leanne says it's done, she
It's
just goes
done.
to the worst picture that she can find on their face.
And that's,
No, I mean for next year's yearbook.
Oh, okay.
and Bob, did you find out if there is another group the weekend before?
They haven't answered my email.
They haven't answered yet,
Thank
okay.
you. Because I got to go back to them about this and this and
Because I will likely need to be there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday nights. And as far as here where it says the extra meals, do we need to let them know, and we need to pay for whatever meals are not part of our package?
yes, but we'll just put it on the tab for the Weavers. Yep. We'll put it on the, what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I went ahead and booked my ticket yesterday, so I'm arriving on Sunday also.
Oh,
Okay.
awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
I'll definitely be there by Sunday too. So
Yeah, and that way we can get all the decorations and.
We'll be all together. This will be so fun.
We'll have Memorial Day together.
So are you, Darlis, are you thinking about coming to the ranch, or are you going to sleep at the IGL motel in
No,
Boulder?
No, but they have had so much company. I need just to come straight to the ranch. I'm not even asking.
Okay.
Their B&B has been very busy.
What is IGL? I'm
Oh.
not.
Inner Game of Leadership.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's David Powell, myself, Kathy, and Ted.
Okay.
That team.
Wonderful.
hey guys, my computer's only down at 3%. So if I leave the meeting, that's because my computer pooped.
Okay.
Well, I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, we've
So
hit a lot
um,
of points here.
to
Okay.
wrap up on this letter going out, I will share this with you all so you can take a look and see if someone wants to contribute to improving on this explanation
Okay.
of the Heartful Exchange.
I see it as pretty clean there. We support an evolving energy exchange that might be a barter, exchange of hours, it seems pretty clear. Does anybody think it needs to be more than that?
Well, there's some, I guess, I was thinking, is Kim Conrad registered, Bob? Do you know?
She is not. No.
Because she was one that would bring like those big towers of jewelry and all of that. And so for her to go through all those gyrations for a half a day would be a bit much.
Right.
Just people like that are really into the vending part that we need,
Right.
where they know that that's not the way we're doing it.
The other thing we're left out this time that's going to affect some people's experiences. Last year, we did set aside time for people to do that round robin thing where you would learn what other different people were doing.
Right.
Right.
But we could let people set those up during the break times if they want.
Yeah, they're free time if they so chose. I mean,
Yeah.
if people don't need a nap, they'd be all good to do
For
stuff.
sure.
Right. So we need to your point, I'm going to just make a note to myself that we need to say this is a couple of hours one evening
Exactly.
as opposed
Yeah.
to days and days. I mean, we can do more if you all want. It's $150 to have it for additional days, and people would on their Owoto time do it. What you're rattling your head, Darlis.
It's just like this. I don't know. I love the way that we've recreated that piece this year,
Yeah.
I do
and
too.
it feels really good, and it feels
Yeah, it does.
yeah. There's plenty of expos around the country. If that's your
Yeah.
thing, you can go
And
to.
exactly. And people will, from that experience, if they didn't have a chance in that 2 hours, they know what people have. And they can go, other events that I've, done this too, where we say, oh, I really wanted one of your this. We can converse and exchange and do it in our own way. But I like that it's kind of got a laser focus to it, and it's not the focus as much. It's more of a,
And me too. So
And Bob, to that point, as we can set aside the room for the whole day since we're paying for it,
that's
where
correct.
people can have their things in there all day. But then
that
we
would be good. I think, if you're paying for it
Yeah.
for the whole day, then I think that, it can be made aware that this is there. And
just a
it's-
1-day thing, though.
Yeah, just one day.
And I
Okay.
like that we're not continuing to spend money on that room needlessly. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
That's good too.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, Sheila, you said that Karen is developing some words that I would assume would be in this letter also, offering the heart thread to register.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. She's sending me some language tonight. I know the way it would work is we would put her contact information in there, and they would just go directly to them. We don't need to be in the middle of that.
Super. Good.
Yay.
So we might just want to wordsmith it a little and put it in your letter. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, stay.
And Jennifer's not on, sorry, I didn't mean to
Go ahead.
so many things to share. Jennifer's not with us, but we'll be seeing the recording. And so I know many of us are circling into our third call. So will she be sending a script for the moving through
Oh,
gates?
good point.
Oh, yeah.
With our IntelliKey
Shit,
journey?
I need that by Sunday. Thank you, Pamela.
Yeah,
I would think
so-
about that someplace between Salina and
I
Lima.
would be thinking about it. So but I'll be having mine before our next call. So I would love, the script works so well. And if she has something, at the fingertips of her awareness to send to us, it would be great.
Yes.
Third
Yes.
call.
She did such a great job with the last one. I had so much fun doing mine this time. I was on a high already.
Good.
And when I did it, I was experiencing it. It was awesome.
Great. Good.
That's good. I'll jot her a text as I'm packing up the bag here.
Okay.
And our next call is Wednesday, 5
1
p.m.
week.
Eastern again.
5 Eastern for people.
Same time.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay.
We got here the 16th.
All right. We're in the home stretch, people.
We are. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got so the Weaver call will be at 5 o'clock Eastern till 6.
Yeah.
And then we've got a pre-call for people who are registered to go to Dominher later that evening. And don't miss it, the following day, Patricia Ellsberg live,
Oh, right.
third Thursday
That's
call.
Thursday
Oh,
call.
that's so
Sounds good.
cool.
Please
Yeah.
share out
Beautiful.
the
Well,
word.
and yes. She's amazing. I love Patricia.
I look forward to it.
And I will look for a link. Are you all in receiving the daily digest of Loveless here?
I'm not sure I am, but I did see something on
No,
Facebook.
I registered, but I just catch it on Facebook when I can.
Okay. So it was Julie's idea after making this beautiful video. They want to do a Zoom party. It's Friday night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to Zoom together and launch the video and send it global. And she did such a beautiful job.
Great.
I could hardly see it through my tears. I was just weeping. Yeah.
So it's
So
Friday.
can you send us a link or some information?
Yes, I will get in touch with Julie and Shelley because it was supposedly mentioned in the Day 9 Digest, but I didn't get it today. And it needs to be something that's more easily accessible than people having to type in a URL, and people are not going to do it if they have to take steps.
Yeah, clicking
It's
helps.
time right now. We
All
need
right.
to be link ready. Yeah. All right.
Well,
All
I
right.
think Leanne's computer battery said it was time to go.
Yeah, and I think we need to go too. All right. Well, happy travels.
Yes, I know I do.
Sign off
Okay.
from Mars. Bless you all.
Yes.
Bless you all. Thank you.
Love
Thank
to
you.
you all. Yes.
Love you.
Hey, love you guys.
Okay, thanks so much, everybody, for your
Talk to you
brilliant
soon.
work.
Hey,
Sheila.
bye-bye.
Thank you,
You bet.
Sheila.